So I'll take you through what are the main advantages of SAP EHS module. We are going to see those things first, then we'll move on to the each part that we have in SAP EHS module. So let's start. SAP EHS module is a very versatile module. It helps us in complying with our environmental, occupational, product safety processes, and regulatory compliance. It helps us to fulfill all the requirements from the regulatory perspective. And even as an employer, you are responsible for the health and safety of the employees who are working in your company. So this is basically going to address those issues. Secondly, how does it achieve these things, or how can we improve our EHS management system? See what happens in because I was working in the real time at the ground level. I know the policies are made at the management level. They create lot of policies regarding EHS. Okay, they very bold steps they take. But when it comes down to the actual execution at the ground level, we somehow fall short in these things, in these policies. There will be good policies, but the implementation part is where we lack. Okay, because we don't have proper planning, we don't know exactly which are the issues we need to address. We don't know how to actually percolate these policies to the ground level. That is where we fail. So along with creating the policies, you should also be in a position to implement them at the ground level. So our SAP EHS module is going to help us not only in developing the policies related to the EHS management system, but also you can take this down, you can plan accordingly how you want to implement this at the ground level. So that is why not only EHS, we have the integration part with our human resources, logistics, production, finance, and there are various other modules that are integrated with SAP EHS. There are few other, EHS softwares are available in the market. For instance, Enablon is one of them. But the other softwares are not as better as SAP EHS. The reason is they are all standalone modules. They don't share the data between different modules. Whereas in SAP, if you see, if you want to share any data between HR module and EHS, or if you want to take some data from the materials management module, you can share the data, you can extract the data, okay, and you can share the data with your logistics team. So SAP EHS is integrated with lot of other modules. That is what makes it so powerful. Okay, and you compare it with other company softwares, it is not at all. They are standalone basically. They are standalone modules. Okay, this is one of the greatest advantages of using SAP EHS module. Next, how does it actually help the companies? This is what we'll see here. It will help you to reduce incidents. How can you reduce incidents? It will help us to identify the risk. It will help us to identify what are the hazards in a workplace. Okay. And then you can plan what should be the control measures to mitigate those risks in the work area. Okay. Thereby, you can provide the safe working conditions for the employees who are working in your company. So overall, the effect of these planning and implementation of control measures will help the company to reduce the incidents overall. So till yesterday, what we used to do, everything was documented on a hard copy. We used to create some documents, risk assessments, and we used to implement control measures. But there was no, what we call the systematic application of control measures was not available to us. But now using SAP EHS, we can systematically identify the hazards. We can see what control measures have to be implemented, and we can take necessary steps, and we can even identify the people. See, for example, the control measures in EHS are not implemented by EHS team. So we'll start with, I'll give you some overview of SAP. Like, I'm going to take you through the history of SAP, where it was started, who started this SAP, what is its market value currently, how is it doing as compared to its competitors, how many modules are there, what are technical, functional modules. I'll just give you a brief overview of SAP as a company as well as their area of operations. Okay, that will be the general overview of not only EHS but also SAP as a company. Then I'll tell you some of the things related to our EHS. what is what are the different projects we have in SAP, implementation projects, support projects, etc., etc. I'll take you through those things. Next, we'll study about basic data and tools. So what is basic data and tools? This is a very important component because this is where all your data related to EHS will be stored. Maybe it is related to MSDS, incidents, product safety, hazardous substances, dangerous goods, or even waste management. All the data related to EHS will be actually created, and that data will be stored in basic data and tools. So this is the very important and the first component we are going to learn. So within this basic data and tools, we are going to see what is specification. We are going to see how to create the phrases, how we can connect these phrases with our specification management. Okay, and what are the different specification categories are there, what type of reports we can generate in this specification management, how is it really going to help the companies. All those things we are going to see in the specification management and phrase management. And then finally, coming to report management, we'll see how many types of reports are available to us in SAP in general terms. Okay, like labels, incident reports, or MSDS reports. We'll see about the reports, different reports available in SAP EHS. This is the basic data and tools. Next, going to product safety. Like the product safety is mainly related to your hazardous substances which you are using in the company as a raw material or maybe for any other business process. And I told you, if it is coming under the regulatory requirement, you need to see that the quantity of those hazardous substances are as per the permitted limits. And also, while you are handling these hazardous substances, what safety precautions are you exercising? That whole thing is covered under product safety. So we'll see in this a report information system, which is related to again reports, the kind of reports we can generate, how do we share those reports, how do we manage the reports, what kind of check happens when you create the report. Those things I'll tell you in report information system. Substance volume tracking is, I told you about the quantity of the hazardous substance. They should be checked automatically by the system. So that function will be performed by substance volume tracking. This is one of the options we have in product safety, using which we can automatically track what is the quantity of the hazardous substances in the company, so that it will alert us on a timely manner. It will alert us if it reaches 80% of the maximum limit or 90% of the maximum limit. We can control the quantity of the hazardous substances based on the response I get from substance volume tracking. So it is very important, even from the perspective, interview perspective, or the companies that using product safety, substance volume tracking is very important. Fine. Next, we'll see about WWI. It is nothing but Windows Word Processor Integration Software, which is available in SAP. So why we use this WWI is mainly because if you want to create any report template, let's say you want to design a report template. So how do you actually design? It is not that you can open a Microsoft Word document, you can design the report, and you can use it. No, whatever report template you want to design, it has to be done within the SAP. So this WWI is an advanced version of Microsoft Word. It is an advanced version where we can design our report templates. Okay, we'll see that how it works, what are the options available in WWI. All those things we'll see in WWI report template. And then we go to global label management, wherein it addresses all the label requirements of a company. Label, though it is very small, okay, it may be in millimeters or maybe in centimeters, but labels in a company, especially in a manufacturing sector, are very, very important. They are not only used on the the boxes or on the carton boxes, they are used in lot of other business processes, right from ordering the raw material up to you deliver the product to the customer. Whatever the business processes are involved in between, in all those business processes you require labels. To tell you some examples: production preparation, waste management, dangerous goods, and then you have sample labels, you have transportation. In transportation, you need labels. In warehouse management, you need labels. In plant maintenance, you need labels. There are many applications of labels. So maybe till now you had an idea that labels are quite just they are very normal. It just gives me the product information. No, it gives a lot of information related to the product as well as the nature of the product, and you can use it even for delivering the product to your customer. Okay, we'll see how these labels are divided into how many categories, what are the applications of these labels. Okay, how do we determine label, which label has to be printed, how do we determine that? All those sections we are going to see in global label management. Okay, are we clear up to this point? This is our product safety. Next, let's go to hazardous substance management. So hazardous substance management, I can say it is a very smallest component in our SAP EHS module. It mainly consists of two things. One is hazardous substance master and SARA reports. Okay, and why do we use this component? It is used to maintain some important details of a hazardous substance. Okay, and for that purpose we use hazardous substance master. Hazardous substance master is a record which will contain the most important information of all the hazardous substances which are used in the company. But it will not contain each and every point of a hazardous substance. No, it only contains important data related to the hazardous substances, so that we can use those information, and you can share that information with your other teams like sales team, with your logistics team, with your warehouse management team. We can share the data of the hazardous substances. That is why we use hazardous substance master. And coming to SARA reports, let's say you are a manufacturer of a hazardous substance in India, and then after manufacturing you want to export that hazardous substance into United States. Now, there is a requirement that you cannot directly manufacture and send the material to USA. They will not accept it. First, you need to prepare a report known as SARA report. This is US Superfund Amendments and Reauthorization Act report. Okay, and this is only applicable for United States. It cannot be used for other countries. So what this report contains? It contains some of the important information related to hazardous substance, like what is the quantity of the hazardous substance, where do we use this hazardous substance, okay, what is the maximum limit for this hazardous substance, what is the hazardous nature of this hazardous substance, whether it is flammable, explosive, corrosive, toxic, radioactive, what kind of material it is. All those informations are first prepared in a SARA report. Then we submit this SARA report to the government of USA. Like, we submit this to the Environmental Protection Agency, which is the agency in USA. Then they will go through the SARA report. If they find that this material can be allowed inside USA, then you can export the hazardous substances. Okay, so we'll see the SARA reports. Actually, there are three types of SARA reports. What are those? What are the programs that are involved to generate this SARA report? We'll see that in hazardous substance management. It is very small component, but yeah, very useful. Okay, going ahead to dangerous goods management. This is again, it is like the heart of your EHS module. Dangerous goods management is used by almost all of the manufacturing companies, especially chemical, pharma, petrochemical companies. Okay, they use this dangerous goods management because whenever you are manufacturing any hazardous substance, okay, and when you want to transport that hazardous substance to various locations, there are certain regulations which you need to follow, and we call them as dangerous goods regulations. So here we are going to see what are the different dangerous goods regulations that are available, that are followed internationally as well as country specific, and what kind of dangerous goods data that we need to maintain in our dangerous goods management component. What are the different types of transportations available to us? We can either use roadways, railways, airways, shipping, even your river system can be used for transportation of dangerous goods. We'll see those transport categories, and also we'll see some of the important regulations that are followed internationally. Okay, we'll see that. Next, the master record. Dangerous goods master record is a very important record that contains all the information of each dangerous good, right from what is the nature of the dangerous good up to what kind of transportation you want to use, what is the packaging material you are using for the dangerous good. Every information will be contained in this dangerous good master record. I'll show you how to prepare this master record, what data goes into this, and other details related to this dangerous good master record. Fine. And then we are going to see some of the dangerous goods documents. They are basically used by sales and distribution team. But still, you need to know what are the dangerous goods documents that are normally created in dangerous goods management. Okay. So these are some of the things what we are going to learn in dangerous goods management. So mainly three things. One is the dangerous good regulation, the type of transportation category, and third, what kind of packaging material are you using for your dangerous goods. So these three things make this component very useful. Okay, this is our dangerous goods management. Again, like I told earlier about waste management. Waste management is going to address the type of waste which we are generating. We can create a waste code. I mean, depending on what type of waste I am generating, I can create a particular waste code for each type of waste. And then I can create the data related to that. For example, what is the hazardous nature of that waste, and which is the applicable regulation, what should be the disposal process if I want to dispose it, etc., etc. All those things will come under basic data. Master data will contain the different waste management roles. Like there are standard roles in available in waste management, mainly your waste generator, waste transporter, waste disposer, and authority. These are the four roles that are available in waste management. So we are going to see how do we use these roles, how do we create any vendor or business partner. Okay, how do we assign these roles to the vendors. We'll see those things under master data. Okay, and not only that, there are some documents also, like entry document is there, approval document is there. What are those documents? Why do we use them? We'll see those things in master data. Next, disposal processing and disposal documents is nothing but when you have finally decided to dispose your waste, what is the process you need to follow? What are the disposal documents options that are available to us? How do we create these documents? Okay, and while creating these documents, what kind of information can we actually maintain in those documents? I'll tell you all of those things in the disposal processing and disposal documents. Yeah, related reporting, it is the same thing. Like whatever documents you prepare with respect to waste management, we call it as reporting. Because even this data has to be submitted to the government agency every month. Okay, so we'll see that in waste management. Next, going ahead, industrial hygiene and safety, or first I'll tell you about the occupational health component. This is a very vast component and a very important component that deals with the health and safety, not safety, only with the health of the employees. Because as you are aware, employer is responsible for the health and well-being of the employees. So even now regulations are so stringent that the employer has to take care of the health of the employees. Okay, so this occupational health is going to help those employers who want to maintain all the data related to the health of the employees. So why do we use this component? Mainly when you are recruiting people into the company. So they have to go through what is known as the pre-employment medical checkup. So when they go for this pre-employment medical checkup, the reports what we get, the medical reports, that data can be stored in our occupational health. We can analyze whether this person can be employed or not, depending on what medical report he gets. Okay, that is pre-employment medical checkup. Once he joins the company, each employee has to go through a mandatory medical checkup every year or maybe every 6 months, depending on the requirement. Every employee has to go through the medical checkup. Okay, so what we do here is we can assign what are the medical tests he has to go through, what is the examination type that he has to go through, and what are the applicable tests that has to be conducted on them, and all those related medical reports can be again maintained in our occupational health. Not only that, you can even take the appointment with the doctor. You can fix an appointment with the doctor for medical checkup, and you can send an invitation to the employee asking him to report for medical checkup on so and so date and so time. Okay, once he accepts that invitation, he will go to the medical checkup and he can complete it. So that we are going to see in schedule planning. Creating an appointment for medical checkup, asking the employee to go, sending him invitation, and also you can create something known as a medical service. Medical service is nothing but related to each employee. What is its medical history? Did he happen to be in any accident while working? Any kind of injuries or illness in the previous? Okay, maybe in the previous employment or during the previous years. All that medical history can be maintained under the medical service. And this is, I'm speaking about each employee. There may be 500, there may be 5,000. It doesn't matter. All their data has to be captured. And we are going to see that in occupational health. Mainly, we are going to use the integration of HCM module with our EHS. Not only that, we will also see the injury illness, how to create an injury illness report, what data has to be entered in that injury illness report, how do we share. Those things we'll see in injury illness law. And then integration, like I told you, it is connected with other component. Mainly, it is connected with our industrial hygiene and safety. So that from incident accident report, you can jump to your injury illness log, and from injury illness log, you can access medical service. They are all connected together. Okay, that is what is known as an integration, and we are going to see that. Okay, this is our occupational health component. I hope you are clear with this occupational health. And remember, this is only related to the health services of the employees. It has nothing to do with safety. It has nothing to do with any other EHS parameter. Okay, then finally we will go through industrial hygiene and safety component, which is a very important component and it is very vast. There are so many functions which you can perform under industrial hygiene and safety. For example, you can prepare risk assessments in industrial hygiene and safety. You can measure, you can take the measurements of the agents that are available in the work areas. You can see how much is the noise level. You can compare the noise with the standard values. And then you can implement control measures. All that you can do under measurement management. So you can create risk assessment. You can measure the agents or hazards in a work area. You can report accidents or incidents that are taking place in a company. Okay, and you can even perform the detailed investigation related to each incident. It may be near miss, it may be accident resulting in injury, it may be damage to property, it can be anything. All kind of incidents can be investigated here. Okay, and then we'll also see about exposure management. Exposure management means when a group of employees are working in a particular area, what are the different agents that they are exposed to? What are the agents that they are exposed to? How are those agents impacting the health and safety of those employees? So we are going to analyze these parameters in exposure management. Exposure is nothing but when you are exposed to any hazard or danger, we call it as exposure. And learning or doing analysis of that exposure is known as exposure management. Okay, we'll see that. And then finally, we'll also see the work area management. So what is work area management? Any plant or company, if you want to effectively implement EHS measures, it cannot be done as a one unit. You have to subdivide it into separate categories. Like, what I'll do is I'll take a plant, I'll divide that plant into different work areas. Maybe like maintenance area, production area, warehouse area, laboratory, canteen, parking, etc., etc. I'll divide it into different work areas, boiler room or STP, ETP area. By dividing a plant into different work areas, it is going to help me to analyze what are the hazards that are there and what kind of safety measures do I need to implement in that work area. so that it will be easier for me. I can just concentrate on one work area, I can identify the hazards, and I can implement the control measures. Once that is done, I'll go to the next work area, I'll concentrate on that, I'll see what are the hazards, again I'll implement the control measures. Next, I'll move on to the next work area. So that is the reason. If everything is connected, if everything is in one unit, it becomes very difficult for you people, even for EHS and also for the production team, to identify the hazards and to mitigate the risk. It is very difficult. So better to divide the work area, to divide the plant into different work areas and then take care of each of these work areas. We are going to see that, and we will create a work area. How to create the work area, what data goes into it, everything will be seen in this. And like I told you, industrial hygiene and safety is a very vast component. It will cover a lot of concepts related to EHS. That is one thing. And then I'll also tell you related to some integration concepts. What are the tables we find in SAP EHS, the data structure, some technical concepts also I'll add wherever required. Okay, so this is what we are going to learn in SAP EHS module. Apart from these things, yeah, I'll help you out in preparing your CVs. What kind of questions can you expect in the interviews? Okay, how do you answer them? How do you basically tackle them? That will be again at the end of the course. I'll share the sample CVs with you, and I'll share you some of the stuff which is very much required to clear the interview. Okay, so this is what I had today in our SAP EHS demo.